Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Memorial Day to all those that watch. Hey, y'all, hey. Normally I do my morning rise with the prophet, but because it is a holiday, whoop whoop whoop, I don't go to work, so there's no morning rise. So I still felt like I wanted to bring you just a message, just sit and talk with you for about 20 minutes, like I do every day. Um, so here I is. How y'all doing? Um, I'm just enjoying my day off. I am not even gonna lie, I'm day drinking already. Yes, it is 10, but what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm going out. I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna be in my house, enjoying my apartment, lounging around, watch Kev on Stage Studios. I just was watching Crafts and Cocktails with that chick Angel, and to hear it is hilarious. It is hilarious. Go watch that. Get the app. But but anyway, so it's Memorial Day. Um, the first to me it marks the beginning of summer. Here in Atlanta, schools usually let out when there's not a pandemic. The last day of school is usually about this time, you know. And thinking about it, like I posted some memories yesterday on Facebook, and there was some of my son's graduation. And that was about the time when, he graduated and he wore his cap and gown. And I was very proud of him. He was determined to graduate from high school instead of, I was saying, like, I know my son he wasn't really a school dude. Never really was. Like the first day of school, he was excited. And when I say the first day of school, I mean fourth grade. I mean, not fourth grade, 4-year-old pre-K. He was excited the first day. After that, it's like he was not here for school. He was not that formatted, education type of person. So then I should have known my son was never going to go to college because he was not someone that formally, hey, I was just talking about you. He was not one that normally, he was just not a formatted school dude. But I was so proud of him because I was trying to convince the one that just joined that, hey, son, he was not the one that was like school. He hated school after, like I said, after pre-K, that first day, wearing a uniform, he went to school. After that, he didn't like school. So he wasn't going to go to college and graduate his college. But he was not a dummy. And I'm not saying that because he's on here. He was not a dummy. He's always been, I was always told by his teachers that he was very articulate. He's very smart. But that formulated going to school wasn't his thing. So I was like, when, he was in and out, issues, none of y'all business, but there was issues in his teenage years, some my fault, some his fault, or just life. He was just not that one to be in school. And I was suggesting that why don't he just get his GED so he doesn't have to go through school, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, nah, I want to graduate though, get my diploma. I don't want to get a GED. And I was like, well, if you want to do that, then you're going to have to do the work to register. You do all the work. All I'm going to do is sign papers. That was, all I'm going to do is sign the papers. You're going to have to do all the work. And he did the work. And he graduated. And that was when his graduation was especially a especially proud moment. I'm not gonna cry on y'all. It was an especially proud moment because I know my son did the work to graduate. It wasn't an easy road for him, but he was determined to do it against my suggestions. Like, cause if I had that diploma is diploma, GED or finish school, whatever. To me, at that age, it's like, look, if I wasn't one, like I was a school person, I enjoyed going to school. I very rarely skipped school. Actually, school was my outage because growing up for me, it was. I don't want to say because I found out there was people that was had much more strict parents, but my parents, they were easygoing, but we wasn't doing nothing. You know, we weren't going out. I wasn't going to parties. I wasn't sneaking out to clubs or anything like that. So my adventure was school. My friends were school. After school programs, going to getting involved with choir and having to stay after school. Eventually in senior being a color guard and staying after school for practice and stuff like that was my adventure, my outage, you know what I'm saying? So school, I like school, kinda. You know, when I say kinda, it's like that was my home, you know, a way to enjoy. Oh, of course I will. But for my son, he had a different life. Oh, that's all right. I know you at work. This is the first time. It's so cool to actually have someone who is talking to me on my live. This is so awesome. I always save with Nathan. I always save my videos. And if not, you can catch me on YouTube at The Prepper and the Prophet or on my personal channel on Akara Hatcher. I have them and they're open for viewing. And in the group, if you accepted and was put in there, you will get these as well. So so I was especially proud for him of of him graduating and putting in the work to do so. But outside of that, you know, yeah. And then this is kind of like, it's a sad moment because this past weekend it's been a year. Was it a year? It's been a year. Maybe two. Oh, dang. I keep trying to totally X out 2020. So I want to say that in 2019, we went to see my grandmother before she passed, and I was so happy that we went for her birthday, which is early May. I want to say May 1st. In Rochester, and me, my brother from who lives in Cali, my younger brother, all the kids from DC went to Rochester. My grandmother was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and it was her birthday, and I got to talk to her. I didn't, you know, and I said I was going to see her in the summer, but then my cousin was telling me that she wanted to see all the DC kids, which would be, you know, of course, me and my siblings. She wanted to see us. And so I had to come early for her birthday. And let me tell you, this weekend is bittersweet because early in May 1st, we all went up there, and I believe it was 2019. And it felt so good to give my grandmother her wish to see us. Um, and for all of us to make it. All the siblings, all of us and our wives. She got to meet Brianna before she passed, my younger brother's wife, who she hadn't met. She got to meet my sister's husband, who she didn't get to meet before she got married. And of course, she knew Cynthia, my brother Kelsey's wife. She's very close with my my grandparents and the Rochester family, and I love it. Matter of fact, right now, oh no, they won't be there until what, Wednesday? They'll be there Wednesday, and next week we'll be there. Me and my brother be in DC, but it was so wonderful to. She was so excited. She was so excited to see us all. We just came in. Kelsey and Malcolm, it was, they go up to Rochester all the time. Rachel even will go a little more because they are in DC, Maryland. So going to Rochester is only 8 hours, maybe, if they take their time. But for me to come from Georgia, which is a whole day worth of travel, and Malcolm is a real whole day. It's to fly in from California to come and see her for her birthday. And then we weren't the only ones that came in and just surprised her, because we had other cousins that came in from Cali and from other parts of the country to see her on her birthday. And it was so beautiful. And I was so happy that we were able to make it. And then by the end of the month, she had passed away. So it was so exciting. We actually, the funniest thing is about that moment on her birthday, or her birthday week, when we went there, that first night that we were there, William didn't make it. They were behind because I think someone, either him or his, should be my sister-in-law, Taria, had to work, or they were late getting on the road. So they weren't there that first night. But, oh my God, when, going there, we had to actually leave out of the house so that my grandmother would go to bed, because she was going to use every bit of energy she could to stay up with us. She wouldn't go to bed even when she wasn't feeling well. Oh my God. And so we all had to leave out of the house as if we were gone to our hotel rooms or whatever, so that she would go to bed. Because she wasn't going to go to bed as long as we were inside the house and she thought we were there. She wasn't going to leave. And it was just so, it's like, oh, I see you and I know, but you need to go to bed because I see that you're in pain right now. So just, you need to relax and chill. And she was so thoughtful and thoughtless that she actually, okay, again, I'm not crying because it was beautiful, because she was so you understand, my grandma Ruby isn't my biological grandmother. I'm going to cry. But she was the best grandmother, the only grandmother that I knew. Like, I knew my mom's mom, but we didn't go down and visit her that often. But my grandma Ruby, I think it's more touching and more loving to me because she took me in as her grandchild. She didn't treat me any different than the ones that share her blood. And I learned so much from her, and she did so much for me as a grandmother. Okay, so memory, I remember back in the day as a kid, my dad would rarely call grandma from home. So my grandmother, Grandma Ruby, would call us from Rochester. And we were all, my grandma's like, we all get on the phone and be like, hey grandma, how you doing? And she, how you doing, baby? Boo, 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 boo. Just like a grandmother. Like, she was like my grandmother, like I was born into the family. I did not feel, like I almost renounced my last name of Hatcher because I wanted to be a Robinson. I'll be honest. Now, I mean, like, I love my dad and I understand the importance of keeping his name. But I so much wanted to have the last name Robinson so bad at one point. I mean, because that's how much I felt like I was a part of the family. And to know that my dad, now, if y'all remember, I told y'all that when I say dad, I'm talking about Jerome. And when I say father, I'm talking about Robert. Robert is my biological. Jerome is my every other sense of the word of a father, dad in my life, okay? I hate calling him a stepfather because he was so much not a stepfather. He wasn't a step anything. He was a step up. That's what he was. He stepped up and took care of me on an everyday basis, concerned for me on an everyday basis. I disappointed him like I was his own, okay? So, but at any rate, and we would all talk to her. She would love talking to us. She always, man, she was just a great grandma. I remember the summer in the 80s. I can't remember the exact 80, if it was 81 or 82. I know I was 12 of staying in Rochester for the summer. Oh man, I got in trouble. I mean, because I was 12, it was mischievous. You know what I'm saying? I remember just so much of just going there at least 2 times, 3 times a year. I loved it. I remember the soda pops that were delivered. They still had soda delivered. We didn't know. That blew our minds, the DC crew. It blew our minds. We didn't have soda. They had soda delivered. We had so much soda. We drank so much soda when we was in Rochester, and we got to watch cable because we didn't have cable at home in DC. Man, it was so Kenwood Ave, man, there's so much memories, at least for me, on Kenwood Ave. Going to the corner store, going to the candy lady, going to the YMCA. Oh man, it was just so much. My first love lived on Kenwood Avenue. Shea Bowie, he's gone. God rest his soul. That was just, oh my God. It was just so much great memories with my grandma. And this weekend marks the second year of her being gone on to glory with my mom and my dad. They probably chilling, looking down. Look at my children. Look at the kids. Look at what they doing. They probably just so excited to be with the Lord. They probably didn't even think about us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it's kind of bittersweet because grandma passed, but she was a good grandma. She was both my father, my paternal grandmother, and maternal grandmother in one. No diss in my grandmother Florine. Okay. Um, I I enjoyed visiting her in her older age when I was able to go down there on my own. Um, my grandmother, she was my grandmother Florine, my grandma Florine, Miss White. She was, I've heard stories. I heard stories about her. She passed shortly after my mom passed. I think she had, I mean, we try not. I only have one child. Okay, first of all. So my favorite child is my son, Nathan. But when you have more than one, there are favorites. I love y'all. I know y'all want to say y'all don't have favorites, but there are ones that are favored. There are ones. There's ones that you favor over the other. Okay? Because they're just more obedient, they're more quiet, they're more whatever, they're more like you, you're friendlier more with that child. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever, you just get along better. And with my grandma Florine, I believe those two of them was my aunt. I was about to say Geneva, and it's not Geneva. Oh God, why don't I remember her name? Because that wasn't her original name. Her original name was Jean, I believe. Um, and she was a he. She was was one of the first transgender women back in the day. I don't even know if it was the 80s when she fully transitioned. I can see her face, and for the life of me, I can't. Ajita. That's what she changed his name to. Ajita. She was a famous Italian model in Italy. Um, she did movies, but mostly modeled, and that was like her. Look at my baby. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother Florine, for what I knew, she didn't have no qualms about the transitioning of her child. She held her in great regard. Matter of fact, I remember when I visited her back in her early 2000s, when my son would go with his paternal grandfather to Florida for the summer, and they have they go to Disney World and all that stuff. Thanks, Granddad. You gave my son a vacation for at least 3 to 4 years of enjoying vacation. And thanks, Grandma, my mom, and my dad for taking him on vacations that I couldn't take him on. And I would go, because we started school early here. We started early, like the first week of August here in Georgia. So I would go down there and I pick up my son so that he can be in school. But on the way, I stopped through to my grandmother's. And I'm thankful that I got to introduce her to her great grandson, Nathan. But I went into the room. She had a whole room set aside for Ajita. Just all her pictures, everything that belonged to her. She had buried, for what I knew now, I might not have all the information, but at that time, I counted at least, by the time my mom passed, she had buried three of her children. Okay, Ajita passed in the 80s, I recall, in the mid 80s. My uncle, it's not Angelo. He's still living. God willing, I hope. My uncle Maurice is definitely still living. Those are one of my two favorite uncles. Maurice was the favorite uncle. Willie James, he passed. I want to say, because I went to the funeral. I went to the funeral. I came down. I don't know how I found out, but I went to the funeral. At any rate, in the early 2000s, I want to say probably 2005, 2000. No. Because I moved down here in 2003. No, it might have been 2004, 2005. I can't. It was, he passed then. Actually, I have his obituary somewhere, but I don't feel like getting it up. This is supposed to be a short video. And then my mom passed in 2011. And the next year, in 2012, my grandmother passed. So those were, and my mom, Ajita was her favorite. I'm not sure her relationship, how close or not, but I know she took care of Willie James. If I'm correctly, I know my family will correct me. And then my mom passed. I think she was also suffering from cancer as well. But she fought through it. And then I think that at that point, when she lost my mom, she was like, I'm done. But I'm happy that I got to spend my time with her every year for about 4 years. As long as my son's grandfather, his paternal grandfather, was taking him to Florida, and Nathan needed to be in school, I was going down to pick him up, and I was there to celebrate my grandmother's birthday on August 1st. That weekend, it was always felt on that weekend. I got to really, and she's like, look, I ain't gonna lie about how I used to live my life. I was a wild one out there, but she was chill, really didn't say much. She wasn't out there talking the stories. She wasn't drinking anymore. It was wonderful to spend time with Grandma Florine as well before she passed on. And I was blessed to be able to go to her funeral as well. But, okay, so I'm not going to go any more. And I'm pretty sure I did a little bit more time because I'm at home as opposed to driving to work. But I just want to spend time and keep up, be consistent, and bring y'all morning message, morning time with the prophet. And I have that time, and I probably a couple of weeks, I'm going to take maybe, I don't know, I might still do it. Why? Because I like doing it. I like talking and leaving these messages. Sometimes I have something big to say. Sometimes I'm just talking because I like to talk to y'all. I like to leave a message. And it's always a joy when I actually have someone that is able to get on my live when I go live. So, y'all have a good one. I enjoy your day. Enjoy your day off if you have your day off. If you don't have your day off, still enjoy your day because you are alive. This is the day the Lord has made. Be happy and rejoice within it. He came to give us life and life more abundantly. Enjoy it. Whatever makes you happy today, that is, within reason. You know what I'm saying? Just within reason. He gave you to live life. Go outside, go to the park, go for a walk, cook out, pull off the grill if you have a grill. Hey, chill and just enjoy not having to go to work. Or when you do get home from work, enjoy the rest of the day. Somebody barbecue, okay? Somebody barbecue today. Put something on the barbie. Hey, bake some chicken and put barbecue sauce on it. You know, whatever makes you happy, enjoy and be content where you are in every circumstances. Always keep an attitude of gratitude, okay? And I will talk to you all tomorrow morning on my ride into work. Bye.